Mr. Ravi Uppal, the Managing Director and CEO of JSPL. Good morning, Mr. Uppal. Thank you very much for joining us at the fag end of 2016. First up, demonetization. What have the last 5 weeks done to demands for longs, typically things which are used in building?
Well, as expected, the demonetization definitely had a slowdown effect. But steel is a very wide segment. There are different products. The products which are relating to the construction sector and the retail sector were affected in particular, which is basically rebar and the wire rods, etc. But I would say that the market is trying to come back now. The retail sector is also trying to get their act together in its new paradigm. I do see that the steel sector has started to recover, and I think by early Q4, more or less the recovery should be there. But one sector which will take a little longer to recover is the construction and automotive sector. Because this is a sector where you have a lot of cash transactions. So therefore, they obviously have to change to a new way of working. But if you look at the institutional demand, I think the sales have recovered much faster. And therefore, primary players, the steel players, they should be able to get their act together relatively fast.
Okay. Mr. Uppal, good morning. Can you tell us a little bit about the steel prices as well? We did see a huge spike up in Chinese steel prices, but what's happening in the domestic market? How have steel prices moved over the last couple of months, and what's the expectation going ahead?
Well, you're quite right. The steel prices have risen globally. China has also raised their prices. Not only China, but across the world, prices have gone up. And quite in sync with that, the Indian prices have also gone up by 2,500 to 3,000 rupees during the last 3 to 4 weeks' time. The main reason, the main trigger for that has also been the increase in the price of the raw materials like coking coal, pellets, iron ore fines, and also alloying materials, which also had gone up considerably. So therefore, the primary producers had no choice but to pass on the increase to their customers. They did it reluctantly, progressively, but the increase had to be passed on to them.
So what are you looking at in terms of an EBITDA per ton, say in the coming quarters? How much do you think it could increase to compared to the 6,000 rupees that you did in the previous quarter?
Well, that EBITDA depends on what is the kind of product profile a company has, because the flat products are operating at different EBITDA level compared to the long products. But I would say the EBITDA levels will show some kind of improvement. It should be in the range of about 7,500 rupees average. I obviously cannot speak on behalf of everybody, because the EBITDA levels depend as to what is the kind of product mix you have.
Mr. Uppal, at long last, we actually heard of PPAs. There was one from Karnataka, which finally made it to the newspapers. And UP was pending for you. Have you signed UP? Have you applied for Karnataka?
Well, we did not apply for Karnataka. We did participate in UP, and we are waiting for the final outcome of the UP. We are placed well. We are the second lowest bidder. So let's hope that it will soon translate into a prospect. It's under evaluation and action.
Okay. The other issue I wanted to ask you was about deleveraging. I think we were talking about the Oman units sale, some coking mines sale. What is your sale list, and any timetable you can give us?
Well, as I mentioned during our previous discussion with you, is that we are constantly trying different ways to bring down the debt of the company. We are trying different ways. Number one is that we have put a complete lid on any new investments. And number two is that we are looking at the sale of the assets. We have succeeded in selling some assets. As far as your question relating to Oman is concerned, we don't have anything on the agenda at this moment for any divestment. But we are looking for ways to infuse some equity, more equity into that unit by way of some other people participating in that one. So there are different options, but the idea is to bring more equity into the unit.
So by when would you look to bring more equity? Are we looking at the early part of calendar year 2017?
Well, that I can't fix a time frame. The discussions are in progress. I just hope that we are able to do it as soon as possible.
This SDR and what was that? Triple S4 or whatever, S4A.
S4A.
Yeah, was so much in the conversation up until the first week of November. Is there any progress, any unsustainable debt that you can get converted into preference shares? Should we hear anything at all in the first quarter of calendar 2017?
First, the first thing I should confirm to you is that we had started with the 525, both for the power as well as steel business, and that entire thing has been done and closed. So that covers nearly 8,000 crores of total debt that we had. Then we've also gone into discussion for S4A or some kind of restructuring of debt. There are various options open which are under discussion with financial institutions. The discussions are going on in a good way, and I'm sure that we'll very soon find a mutually acceptable solution to this.
FY17?
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly.
And is Yamato Kogyo doing anything for you? Buying anything, selling anything?
Well, why talk of only one option? I mean, there are a few other options that
we thought they were very close, but...
the discussions go through different stages, and we are not just confined to one particular company. We obviously run the plan with several options in parallel.
This is a stake sale of...
Which one comes to the finishing line first?
No, Mr. Uppal, is this a stake sale of JSPL shares? Will it be a unit that they will take? Will you hive off something? What are the options?
Well, it's interesting you're saying that. It's actually both of them which we are considering, that it could be one unit which we set up as a joint venture. It could also be that, we talk in terms of selling a small stake at the group level. So it's not confined to just one particular option. It's both of them which are in consideration.
Okay, and the deal with Yamato, I mean, is there any likelihood that it will happen within the next, say, 6 to 8 months itself? Have the talks progressed that much?
Well, that as I mentioned, that we are talking to different prospective partners, and we have to see that whatever we do in the best interest of our stakeholders. So as soon as we come to that kind of point, we certainly will take a decision and move it forward full speed. Full steam ahead.
All right, Mr. Uppal, pleasure speaking with you. Let's hope 2017 is a better year for the steel sector and for yourself. Have a great 2017. Thank you for joining us.